Okay. Okay, we are live. Hey, how's everyone doing today? It is a fabulous, fabulous Wednesday, July 13th. We got a great show for you, as always. We try to bring you the best from the adult industry, and I believe today we have done that. We have uh, the villain, Tim Woodman. How we doing?
Hey there, what's up, Joe?
How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I got my
Good.
coffee. I can do this.
There you go. All right. Hey, how did you get into the adult industry?
I got into the adult industry completely by accident. I was minding my own business, and well, I wasn't entirely minding my own business. I worked actually the lights for a live production of the Rocky Horror Picture Show near where I was, when I was a young lad.
Right.
And some of the people in the cast were bondage and fetish producers and performers. I had no idea what that meant at the time, but they said you could be good at this, and they welcomed me into their fold, and I never looked back.
Okay. Now, when you've probably been in it, I believe, since the mid '90s, I think.
Yep, 96.
Now, what is the difference between when you got in and now?
Gosh, a lot of things have changed since I first got into the business. I think the thing that the positive change that I love the most is actually, believe it or not, social media. The impact that social media has had on the ability for adult performers to have a voice, which we never had before, and begin to combat the stigma and stereotypes that popular media has always cast us as, has been overwhelmingly cool.
Okay, great. Now, with the internet, the media and stuff, because I mean, I've talked to a few people who have been on the show, and they were roughly around the time that you came in, and they were even before, and there were some of the women who have told me that they were making like 70,000 up for a scene, as compared to now, it's like way totally different. And so, I mean, I guess that would be a negative, I guess, for the female part of the business, I would say.
Well, I can't 100% speak to that because, especially in the fetish side, we never made the kind of money that mainstream made even back then. And we didn't much talk to each other for the first probably 10 years of my career. It was into the 2000s before there was the beginnings of crossovers between fetish and mainstream people. So I really don't know for sure what the money was like on that side at that time. But at least from my experience and what I know in retrospect and people I've talked to, working in adult entertainment is a lot like working in any other entertainment, whether it's mainstream Hollywood or professional athletics. There are a few people who are making an obscene amount of money, but there's like six of them. And there
Right,
are tens of thousands that are barely scraping by and hundreds of thousands that wish they were in this, but they're really just waiters, you know?
right.
So it could well be that some people were making that kind of money, but I'd say it was not many. And I think now the playing field's a lot more level because of there are so many platforms that people can work from home.
Right,
Nobody's making millions, but everybody's making something. And I actually I like that.
right, right. Yeah, because I mean, you've got a lot of them. It's basically, I guess, it's unless, like you were saying, unless they're like one of the two
Mhm.
uh tiers, pretty much everyone's getting roughly about the same.
I
And
think
so,
so.
yeah, yeah. Now, with the side of the industry that you do cover, what is one of the, I don't know, intense or craziest scenes you think you've had to do?
Oh man, that is so hard. I appreciate the question, but it's a hard question to answer because what strikes me as intense and crazy might strike somebody else as completely workaday. Whereas
Right,
something that somebody else is like, I can't believe that's so extreme. And I'm like, what? We do that every Wednesday. Like, it's
right.
hard to answer that question.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I mean, that being said, there are scenes that stick out. There was certainly one of the classics when I was working a lot with a delightful young lady named Cupcake. We did the scene where she literally had her breasts nailed to a board during a scene, like pierced through and nailed down while we were doing things to her, which was pretty darn intense.
Yeah.
Kind of by accident, we were talking about fun fantasy things, and I was talking about doing it as like a prop. A lot of my stuff is special effects, and
Right.
she's like, "You have to actually do that." And she researched how to do it properly and autoclave the nails so it would be safe. And she got a buddy of hers that was a professional piercer to come in and be my henchman that day, so we could make sure it was done right.
Right.
And we actually did it. I was like, that struck me as intense, but there are other people for whom that's a normal day.
So when the so this is it the piercing that you get nailed down, or is it the actual you put the nail into the?
No, it went through the boob. Yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
you can find the scene and see how it was done. It was done safely, and she's fine. We researched how could you do this, but yeah, she was literally nailed to a.
Okay. Now I remember the last time you were on, I did some little research, and I believe you there was a scene that you did that was kind of Freddy Kruegerish.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
See,
that
that's
that
where my speed. I love doing horror porn. I will absolutely dismember somebody and murder them in gory ways and throw fake blood all over the room. Like for me, intensity is it's a performance. So like, the whipping is real, the rope is real, but the knives and the guns and stuff is all fake, of course. So doing a Freddy Krueger scene was like, pardon the pun, it was a dream come true for me. I
all right,
love that character and the panache of him. So to get to play him in a porn was fucking awesome. That was great.
all right. Now you have a website,
Hmm.
provillain.com. Sorry about that. This is there we go. Um, what are some of the things on people if they check it out? What can they find?
All of my content is there. It's not a membership site. You could just go there and there are free samples like but it's just like a list of all my updates. So if you wanted to see a model I work with, they're all listed on the bottom with links to where you can buy the scenes we did together. Most of which is just on, clips for sale or wherever.
Right, right,
Uh, but the content ranges from really kind of mild, cute, sensual BDSM fun soft domination scenes all through hardcore like horror porn. It's just what is that model interested in and what do the customer pay us to do that day?
right. Yes, I'm looking at it right now. You got Alexia Anders,
Yeah, just released. Now
Bella
that was
Rose.
adorable. The Alexia Anders scene, that was just adorable because the customer, I've worked for him before and he wrote, it's a custom video. So like he wrote the script and funded it. And then I went and got the girl in the wardrobe and we shot what he wanted. And then he gets first dibs, but then I keep the rights to re-release the content.
Right.
This guy, he wanted me to play a magician. I'm literally in like a full satin, like onstage magician's outfit, and Alexia plays this naive, dumb girl that answers like a Craigslist ad. And we do an audition, and eventually I have her naked and tied up, and then just go to town on her. But it's just goofy as shit. And
All right. Definitely, guys. Make sure you guys check that one out. But let's see here. Something else been on my show, Sarah Vandella.
God, I love Sarah Vandella. She's fantastic. Which
Yeah.
let's see, which scene are you looking at there?
It says Sarah Vandella stalked.
Oh yeah, that was not a custom video. She and I just said, it'd be cool. Let's do this, and we did it.
All right.
So that was a mutual collaboration and just a cute idea we both had. Now, if you hurry, I don't know how quickly people look at these, but every update that I do includes a roughly 40 to 60-second free sampler, but only the top 8 ones stay on. So in a couple of weeks, that one will be gone. But if you look right now, you can get a little free Sarah Vandella.
There you go. There you go. Okay. Now I'm not going to click it on because I got my mic next to my phone, and I don't want this show to get cut off by YouTube.
Right, right, right. We can get in trouble.
But yeah, we got look at this. You got Olive Glass, Karen Fisher guys, Lana Cruz. I mean, so many different stars. Lauren Phillips is on
Oh,
here.
I love her to pieces. I've literally loved her to pieces, actually.
The Angry Mob. Uh, you got look at this. Olive Glass again. Vampire Kiss. There's so many. You guys go to this website provillain.com, and there's so many stars you can look up and basically purchase and buy, and then you have it, and then you'll be helping out Tim here to produce some more great content for you guys.
It's fun stuff for sure. I've been very, very lucky to work with some amazing A-list talent. A lot of who don't usually do bondage, but they trust me, and that's deeply flattering.
I see another one here that was just recently on my show, Angel Dark.
Oh yeah, I saw that when you released that. I worked with her a long, long time ago, but yeah.
Yeah.
That also was a custom job. That was like that was before HD, so it's like, not the same frame rate or whatever else, but the content was really, really good. She played like a trophy wife to a famous judge, and I was a criminal that judge had put away, so I kidnap her and do horrible things and film it to show him or something like that.
Right.
She was a doll. I loved working with her.
Yeah, she's amazing. Asa Akira.
That was one of early on things that I financed myself. I scraped together as many pennies as I could. I had worked with her for somebody else. I occasionally get hired to just do rigging off screen for somebody. Right. And in this case, it was a girl-girl scene, but the femdom didn't have bondage skills. So like they would literally grab the girl and yell cut, and then I'd run in and tie the girl up and hand the ends of the rope back to the other girl and get off screen and the yell action, and she'd be like, "Wah, I tied her up," So I met Asa that way, and we were into a lot of the same kinks. So when I got the chance to hire her, I just saved up the money and hit up her agent, and she was a delight. She was worth every penny.
Yeah, she's real intense performer. She's really good at what she does.
She brought
someone else we've got here who's been on the show, Christiana Sin. How was it working with her?
She was a delight too. I mean, I'm not going to say a bad thing about any of these girls. They're all fantastic.
Oh yeah.
She in particular brought an energy that, like, there are very few girls that have the kind of high energy enthusiasm that Christiana Sin brought to some really weird projects. I mean, she and I did some goofy, strange stuff. I've worked with her a handful of times, and she's always something special.
Yeah.
Just off camera is even more delightful than she is on camera.
Yeah. Yeah. And shout out to Christiana. She's going to be at Exotica this weekend. So if you're in the Miami area, check her out and let her know the podcast by Amada and Tim Woodman sent you and said hello.
Absolutely. She gives good hug. You're going to want one of those.
Another Heather Vaughn. How was it shooting? How was it shooting with Heather?
She was a delight as well. This was a different customer and another really goofy one. If you look at I think it's all called like open mouth doll or something. And basically she was a live sex doll. So like her mouth was open, her tongue hanging out the whole time. And she was such a good sport about doing something so weird. But besides being drop dead gorgeous and just on a physical level, a delight to work with, she's also just a very charming young lady. Yeah. And we had some great talks about the work we've both done and how much she enjoys fulfilling people's fantasies. And like me, that's like her favorite part of the job. The sex is great, but the knowing that you've gotten into a customer's head and given them the thing that they need is very fulfilling and empowering. And she's that way too.
Yeah.
Love her.
I believe I've had her on the show 3 times. 2 times just herself, and then she called into my 100th episode show.
Nice. That's really cool.
Yeah, she did that for her. It was pretty nice. Now let's get into something that you really wanted to talk about, Apac Social.
Yes, the Adult Performer Advocacy Committee, which sounds really badass and is okay. It's not that badass, but it's kind of like student council for porn. It's our self-governing, and governing is probably the wrong word, but a self-representing body. We try and be a voice both for the industry to the outside and also for the industry to itself. One of the things that's bothered me since the beginning is there's not much of an internal culture where knowledge is preserved. Not just like history, but like how to porn. Like we published a porn 101 video forever ago, but we like to make sure new performers know what's expected of them and what's not expected of them. So we created a performer bill of rights that's published in like most of the testing facilities and stuff. We try to give information to adult performers that will make their jobs better for them, more productive and also more enjoyable. So we advocate for ourselves within, and we also organize, like if somebody needs to go before Congress or OSHA or some other governing body, we try to organize that so the performers get a chance to speak our mind to the government that's trying to impose rules upon us. The funny story is I did not volunteer for that job. I got drafted. I've been serving on the board for about 3 years now, and I still don't know who it was who anonymously nominated me to be on the board. And I realized I was nominated during the elections, and I thought to myself, I should probably step down before they, oops, and then they had elected me. And so now
All
I'm
right.
serving on the board of APAC.
All right. And you're the treasurer, right?
It so happens that I'm a treasurer because, again, I touched my nose last. Everybody else was like, not me. Oh, okay, that's me.
Okay.
So it's kind of ironic that a professional criminal is handling the funds for our organization. But what are you going to do?
Yeah. Yeah. Now, do you have any like classes for like you were saying, someone who gets in the adult industry, especially the women themselves, because all of a sudden, they were working at 7-Eleven, making minimum wage, and now all of a sudden, they're getting, I don't know, $2,000 a scene, and they've got 4 scenes for that month, and they've got an extreme amount of money now that they've never had before, and how to manage that money instead of blowing it
Yeah.
on other stuff.
I've seen that, and it's disturbing. And that's not unique to the adult industry. That's true, again, of any entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Young, talented people all of a sudden go from working at a 7-Eleven to having 6-figure incomes and don't know how to do that. Before the initial lockdown 2 years ago, we did have like a monthly series of presentations that were, some of them were on accounting, some of them were on like a specific thing like how to anal. Some of them were on retirement plans or healthcare and what the testing system is and how it works. Like, we tried to give as much information as we could, but they were very seldom attended in person. And especially in the last 2 years, porn has decentralized so much that although one could argue Los Angeles is still the hub, just barely. Like, there are many other hotbeds, and everybody around the world that has access to a smartphone can do porn.
Right.
So people don't attend things in person. So we're trying to host webinars and we're trying to record videos. We just opened a TikTok channel. I don't think it even has anything on it yet, where we're going to invite performers to submit their advice to future generations so
Right.
that that knowledge can be preserved and people can learn how to do their stuff. That's an ongoing project. Yeah.
Right. Definitely sounds definitely interesting and very informative for
Hopefully.
the newcomers and of course people in the industry.
That's
Now,
not.
the main hubs are obviously Southern California, Los Angeles, I believe Las Vegas, and I want to say Miami. I believe.
Miami and arguably Budapest if you're going outside the US.
Right. And then there's also I don't know, I want to say it's Rhode Island or something. One of those smaller states. It's actually legal to have a adult stuff content made there. I
That's
don't
New
know.
People talk about that a lot, and that's case law. It's the only in California and New Hampshire has it come up that somebody actually took it to court and adult entertainment was defended as free speech, and so there's case law saying it's not illegal here. Everywhere else, it's neither legal nor illegal. It just hasn't come to court.
Right, right. But I just thought it was kind of funny that one of those little smaller states. You got the main, like you said, the main hub. Uh, Southern California. Then I was looking, it's done in Vegas, and then all of a sudden I see it was legal in like the top, top little small state up there, and I want to say it's Rhode Island, but I don't quote me on that. But
Yeah, top of my head, I don't remember. It could be. It's one of those little states, and it's not that there's a lot of adult entertainment there. It's just some excited DA was like, "I'm going to be the one that destroys adult entertainment," and arrested somebody. And it went to court, and they were defended. So now it's on the books that it's protected as free speech there. It's not that it's illegal in Nevada or Utah or anywhere else to do porn. It just hasn't come up in court yet.
right, right. Now, let's take a moment back. The Prop 60. How involved were you on with that? Because that's when I actually started my podcast. I was
Oh, wow.
I was trying to think of how to help the adult industry, because at the time I had been a photographer for like 25 years. and two of my clients, I'm not going to say who they are, but they're no longer in the industry, but I shot for them, and they were saying, well, why don't you do something to help out, the adult industry with this Prop 60? And I was thinking, okay, well, I guess I can do a podcast.
That's how it started, huh?
And that's how it started. I doing Prop 60, and uh, it was kind of rough the first couple of shows, getting it going. But then all of a sudden, I just been doing it since then. But um, how involved were you with the Prop 60 and trying to help that getting it ultimately defeated?
I was very involved in that. I was not on the board at APAC at that time, but I was a volunteer and went to every meeting and helped as much as I could. Just out of a weird, perverted sense of conscience, like I've been here a long time. I want to lend my wisdom and at least be a butt in the seat. So yeah, we did a lot of campaigning against Prop 60 at that time, and Measure B before that. That's actually kind of when I joined APAC, was the county measure in Los Angeles. Prop 60, boy, that was weird because you remember the timing. We defeated Prop 60 in November 2016 at the same night that Trump won the election. It was like that was both best and worst election I've ever seen. So that was really, really weird night.
Yeah, it was.
We were sure we were going to lose Prop 60. And at least where I was, we were sure Hillary Clinton was going to be elected president. And boy, were we wrong on both counts.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was like I said, it was just, and then the wording of it, of that Prop 60, it was just like, really? You're going to pull that out of your yin yang and try to get that to pass? It's like, gosh, people.
It became very trendy with a lot of manipulative rich people to put motions, especially in California, but not exclusively in California. It's just the nature of our constitution in California is that it's pretty easy to put a measure like that forward and work it in there that you get a full-time job being the person that runs it. So that was like, he was like, I'm going to be the porn czar. We were all calling him the porn czar, you remember? Because he was going to be the guy that got paid by the state to watch porn and decide whether a condom was used.
Right.
And like that, you can't just, nobody wanted that. It was like one of the few bipartisan no-brainers, as everybody thought this was a bad idea.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like you get tested like every 2 weeks, and it's like, really, there's really no, I guess there's really no need unless the person actually wants to feel a little more protected. I mean, but you guys are the most protected people out there, because I sure as hell don't get tested, every 2 weeks.
Well, there's not that much need for most people, but yeah, statistically, we're far lower risk than the average sexually active person, just because we're well educated and we take the proper precautions, which sometimes include condoms and other barriers, and sometimes don't. But like, if you're a married couple and making porn only with each other exclusively out of your bedroom, why in the world would you need a condom for that?
Exactly.
This rule would have made that mandatory. We're like, that's just dumb.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. That is so true. So before we close this out, is there anything you'd like to say to your fans? And
fans?
or the fans, the people, listeners, I mean,
this is going to sound like probably what everybody says, but I'm really, really grateful that there are people that buy my content and like it. And when I get fan mail, it means the world to me. It means an awful lot to know that there are people who share my interests and appreciate my work. And like, that's very fulfilling. Like I said before, my favorite thing is to get into a customer's head, find out what it is that they really love, make it my own for that shoot day, and then know that I gave them what they needed. It's like I'm having sex with people I've never met all around the world, that I've never seen and may not be attracted to, but we've still had a sexual connection. And I just think it's awesome to help people that way.
There you go. Exactly. Good, some good, nice words there. Now before I go, there's one thing I want to ask that I ask all the people on the show. Have you ever been recognized in public? And if so, what was the interaction with that person?
I wish I had a better story. I don't know that I ever have, but I'm not a cute girl in a bikini. So right. I do, like every now and then I'll be at a mall or a restaurant or someplace, before we had masks on everywhere, and somebody will look at me like, like that. But that could just be because I'm an inherently creepy dude. I don't know that they recognize me. They certainly didn't say anything. I've seen
Right.
people with eyes bug out once or twice, but that could just be because they don't like the look of me.
Okay.
Nobody's ever come up and said, "Oh my God, you're you." I think that would be cool, but it's never happened.
Okay. So, people, if you guys are watching this and you're in the Los Angeles area, you see Tim, go up to him and say, "Hey, I know
I
you."
look just like me, and
Yeah.
I'm very friendly. I will not bite your head off unless you pay me to.
Yeah. And I like asking that question because it's I get all these crazy, different, wild, and fun stories. Where and some people are just like, you know what? No, don't come near me. That's why I do the trade shows. Get in line and I'll be happy to talk to you then. And some are just, yeah, come up, say hi, give me a hug. But if you see me with my family, just, don't come up to me.
Sure.
Stuff
And
like
both of those feelings are fair and legitimate.
yeah,
I recognize my privilege as a boring straight white guy. I'm not in the kind of risk that a lot of these smaller, vulnerable, gorgeous women may be that don't necessarily want people just walking right up to them.
yeah.
But I'm not scared of you. You can come on up and say hi. I'll shake your hand.
There we go. All right, guys. Hey, I want to thank our guest today, Mr. Woodman, for being on. Brought a lot of great content and information for you about the APAC and where you can find his great content. So make sure you guys support him so he can continue to do what he does. So I want to thank you guys for being on, and we'll see you next time.
Always good to talk to you, sir.